Thanks for tuning in to the review of Week 10 in the NFL. We had the Rams and the 49ers in the preview that we're going to review today. I got the game winner right. I didn't get the scoreline right. However, I feel like the deficit was pretty close. I had it at 30-14 to the Rams, and it ended 42-26. So they still got the win, and it was a similar deficit. So here's the proof that they had in Week 5. I'm not going to sit on the fence. 30-14 to the Rams. They're going to win the game. I'm going to enjoy watching it, and I hope you enjoy watching it too. Just in case any of you think that I'm telling porcupines. The victory takes the Rams to 7-2. Matthew Stafford threw 24 out of 36, 280 passing yards and 4 touchdown passes. That's a great performance by Matthew Stafford. I thought he'd have a good game, and he really, really did today. Kyren Williams opened the scoring with a rushing touchdown. Nice little handoff here from Stafford for an easy running for Williams to open up the scoring. Davante Adams caught a touchdown pass, had 77 yards and 6 receptions, but the big news there is he did go off injured early on. Hopefully he's going to be okay, so we'll keep an eye open for that one. This was a great reception from Adams. He had no right to stay in the play. He did. Caught it, stayed in, touchdown. Mac Jones didn't do too badly. He did 33 out of 39 passes. Completed with 318 yards, so further than Stafford. Unfortunately, he threw an interception. This is one of those where you think sometimes just take the sack. There was no need to throw it there at all. And the Niners also had the ball turned over with a fumble. Probably a little bit unlucky on this one. He actually caught the ball fairly well, but it was just a really, really big hit there. Jennings losing the ball there for a turnover for the Rams. I think it's these moments in the game that really, really decided which direction the game was going. The Niners did have a couple of good drives. George Kittle was there. He was always involved with a massive 9 receptions, 84 yards. He scored an unbelievable touchdown as well. How he stayed on the pitch to then reach for the corner was classic George Kittle. And for me, he had the reception of the match. Let's check out some of the highlights now. Here are just a few of his highlights. Nice reception and yards after the pass. Classic Kittle. And then this is a really tough catch to make, and he makes it really nicely. But this here is the play of the match for me, or I should say the catch of the match for me. This next one is the play of the match for me. Nice throw again, should be going out, stops on a dime, reaches for the bollard, great touchdown, great play, best play of the game for me in the whole match. Bosa and Warner being out was clearly massive for the 49ers, and the Rams took huge advantage of that. In their first 8 drives, they put points on the board 6 times. So I think those players that were out for the Niners were a really big deal. We all know how good those 2 players are, and the Niners really, really missed them today. And actually, I think they did better than I thought they were going to do, knowing that they had some big injuries. But here are some of their best plays. Here, Nicole, great running after the ball, making moves, superb finish. He had a great game, actually. And this just shows off what Stafford and the Rams were doing all game. There was times in the game where they were just unstoppable. Nice little screen there. Popped it off. Waits. You think he's lost it, but what a throw. What that. You just waited until the right time and he got it to him right there. And they did this again and again. Another little throw here. And they just went on like this. They just went on like this all game. I didn't think the Niners had a terrible game, but they just weren't quite enough, and the Rams were just a bit too much with them. However, that there should definitely have been an interception. Nice breakup of play. Probably should have intercepted. Got away with that one. But there weren't many of those. There weren't many mistakes from the Rams and Stafford. Nice little sidearm. And you go on and on like this. Like I said, just a really, really dominant performance. And a really, really enjoyable game to watch. That was a great take. Nice tackle. But the damage has already been done at this point. Nice little run play. Easy through. And I think this is another one here, is it? No, just another little side on there from Stafford. And this one's... The rest of the match, so I think I got 9 out of 11 right. I'm pretty sure. I'll have to look back at the video. I'll link it in the description down here. But I think I got 9 out of 11 right this week. That would be mad. So we'll go through it. The Colts win in overtime. The Colts beat the Falcons by 31-25. They win that game in overtime. I called the Colts after their loss last week. I thought they'd bounce back. I got this one wrong. I thought the Vikings would beat the Ravens, and they started well. I actually watched this game. They started really well, but there was opportunities for them to win this game. I won't go into it in detail because I was reviewing the other game, but The Ravens, fair play, they plucked away and they got themselves a win after being down at the beginning. The Pats beat the Bucks, and I thought they would. That moves them to 8-2, they're top. And another game I got wrong was the Bills. The Bills lost to the Dolphins, which means that the New England Patriots extend that cushion at the top. I had the Texans to beat the Jags. I did have the Texans to beat the Jags. I was a bit twitchy because they were so far down, but what an unbelievable comeback. I watched the highlights, but what I'm going to go back and watch that full match because I love games like that where a team pulls it back from such a big deficit. I had the Browns. Actually, no, that's wrong. So maybe I had a few games wrong here. I had the Browns to beat the Jets. The Jets won 27-20. And then the Chicago Bears beat the New York Giants. I called that one. Gone through the Dolphins against the Buffalo Bills. The Seahawks won really well. That's 2 victories in a row where they've looked really, really good. I've already watched the highlights of these matches, but I'm going to pick a couple to go back and watch in the week. Maybe I'll review another one. Gone through the Rams, called that one. The Lions beat the Commanders well. That's twice in a row. Commanders have been beaten quite convincingly, and the Lions bounced back with a win. And the Chargers beat the Steelers. So I think I got 8 out of 11 games. Let's just count that. Yeah, so I think I got 3 wrong out of 11. That's not a bad 8-11 for my first week of predictions. Thursday, the 20th of November sees the Bills take on the Houston Texans. Maybe I'll do a very, very quick review and preview on that game if I have time, but certainly we'll be picking a game on the weekend for week 11 and we'll preview, review, and I'll give you all my predictions again. But I was pretty good on that one. I was pretty close to the Rams. Let me know what your thoughts are on the game. What was the best player this weekend? I haven't watched all of them. I haven't watched all the highlights yet, so I can't tell you mine. But the one I've seen so far, the best player I've seen so far was George Kittle's touchdown. Keeping himself in play. I don't know how he did it. And then reaching for the bollard in the corner to get the touchdown for the San Francisco 49ers. Let me know what you think in the comments. Please hit subscribe and I'll see you guys next time.